Good evening, everyone. Happy Sunday. This is Sunday, June the 8th. And welcome to our Sunday leadership call. My name is Miriam Kareem, and I'm super excited to have you all here. Uh, get your blue pens, ink pens out, and your notepads ready, and get ready for another session of amazing training by none other than Coach Will Zanders. But first, a quick trip to the newbie corner. So one thing I noticed today when I was getting my steps in, I was listening to Tom Schreider's, I believe it was a convention that he did. I don't know if some of you all have seen this video, but like he's like on a stage and the background is blue. I can't remember the name of the title, but it's basically talking about, icebreakers and words that you can say when you approach someone about your business. So it was interesting because I had heard this, I don't know how many times, but today it just seemed like I had an aha moment. And I can't remember for the life of me what it was. But when I listen to it again, I'll know. I just didn't have time to go back and listen. But those kinds of things I think are happening for me because I've been as I engage more in doing the things, saying, the as I said, the magic words and um the prospecting and the plugging in and working on my skills. Those things will mean more to you when you hear them again, or when you go over a book, or when you go over your notes. It'll have more meaning to you. So just keep going. That's just my advice for tonight. Keep going and go over those things. Don't be afraid to go back over those old videos that you first listened to when you first started. Go back over those, because you never know. It's never, it's always good to go back and visit, because Tom Schreider is a multimillionaire. He's made millions in network marketing. So something that he said 10, 20 years ago is definitely going to be relevant for today. So that being said, I'd like to introduce you all to our teacher tonight, Coach Will Zanders. He is a multiple seven-figure earner in network marketing and a seven-figure earner at Green Organics, and our first six-figure earner at Godisana. An amazing, amazing teacher. Always has great structured lessons for us to help us build our businesses. So, Coach Will Zanders, are you available, sir?
Miriam, I'm available. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can.
All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I'm in the beautiful state of Arkansas. You had a lot of travel today, a lot going on today, but I'm finally on the road back to Florida. But it's a beautiful day. It's about 90 degrees. You can't tell. And it is super humid out here. And it's my bummy travel clothes right now. But we are going to do a really interesting call. I'm not sure what city I'm in right now. Uh-oh, hold on. I'm not sure what, can y'all hear me okay? Let me know if y'all can hear me. If you can hear me okay, perfect. I'm not sure what city this is. We're in between a couple of different cities. I really don't know. But we are going to be doing a very special call. I do have notes because I'm not at home. I don't have my laptop, so I'm gonna hop off camera and read these notes. But I need our top leaders paying attention, because this is going to be a very interactive call. Okay, so listen closely. You may hear your name. All right. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. And I want to thank Miriam as well for the newbie corner. It is always a blast. And if you took nothing else away from it, just keep pushing. There's no real way to get results in anything in life, with the exception to keep pushing. No other alternative, no other shortcut, no secret sauce. You just kind of got to keep pushing. And faith without works is dead. So I want to thank Miriam for that as well. So one of my favorite mentors in this entire industry is a gentleman by the name of Don Failla. And a quote that, and Don, before he passed away in, I think, late 2024, on one of our last calls, he gave me a quote. And I want to share that quote with you. And then I'm going to ask a question about the quote and call on one of our leaders or upcoming leaders or somebody like that to answer the question. Now, the quote is this: the person who uses the system wins. The person who is the system burns out. Okay, the person who uses the system wins. the person who is the system burns out. And what that means is tools talk, okay? People duplicate and tools talk. When tools talk, people duplicate. So teach 80, 90% of the time by pointing at a tool or a presentation or something that you're not doing, okay? A group event, a video, a audio, a call, a Zoom, a recording, a product. 80, 90% of the time, teach by pointing to that, not by presenting. Presenting is something that's going to be happening very rarely in your business, like typically one-on-ones and things like that, or maybe at group events. And the leaders who are already making significant income are going to be doing most of that anyway. So if you want to build your business faster, let the tools talk and teach by pointing, not presenting. Invite people to a Detox Divas call. You don't have to train on the products. Coach Tina and her guests will do it. Invite them to Franchise Factor and make sure they attend and you plug in. You don't have to onboard your people successfully with the proven 7-figure system. Coach Marcos will do it. He's already made millions upon millions of dollars in the network marketing industry, okay? So the leadership reflection question is this, okay? When you finally trusted the system, all right? When you finally trusted the system, what changed the most in the business? Let me put it another way. Like, I want you, when I ask this question, I want you to think about how can new reps skip the trial and error phase, right? And one of the question is, when you finally trusted the system more than your own explanation, what changed in your business, okay? When you finally trusted the system more than your own explanation, what changed in your business? And let me see if this young lady is on the call. I believe she is. Let me see if Tiara Moore is on the call. I would like to get that answer from Miss Tiara Moore, one of our up and coming leaders in the Georgia area. And let me see, Tiara, are you available to talk? Let me see, she may not be available. Oh, she is, okay. Yeah, Tiara, you can go ahead and unmute. And if you need me to ask the question again, I can, but Coach Marcus has posted it in the chat. So if you could just unmute and take about 60 seconds to answer that question for the people. I think they can get a lot of value from whatever. I have no idea what answer you're going to give, but I feel like they can get a lot of value from you. Oh, can't unmute. All right, hold on, Coach Marcus. Let's see. How do we do? Let me try this. Can we unmute Tiara Moore?
Okay,
there we go.
I'm able to unmute now.
All right, you got it. Do you have the question okay?
Yes.
Okay, give it to us 60 seconds. Give the people what they need, T. Give the people what they need.
Well, my business definitely skyrocketed, for sure. You all make it very, very simple. I mean, everything's laid out. You know, you follow the blueprint. You get your people to plug into the blueprint, and everything just skyrocketed from there. Was able to make, way more income than even some people who brought me into the business. So the system works definitely when you follow it.
Love that. Perfect. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. And we're going to move on, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all show Tiara some love in the chat and just draw off her success and her, don't like I said, don't take my word for it. She knows the system works and she is living proof of that. And she's brought her own special value to it as well. And we'll be doing some meetings up in Georgia with her and her organization real soon. Okay. Thank you so much, Tiara. Appreciate you. So the second quote that I want to share with you before I ask the next question, team, it comes from a gentleman named Nathan Ricks. Now, Nathan Ricks, an absolutely incredible leader and team builder in the network marketing industry. If you ever want to see some real incredible information, you maybe to see some of his older videos from him and his company, Nu Skin, which is a skincare company. They're not really all that anymore, but he had some amazing trainings in the 80s back in the day or 90s and so. And you can still find some of his stuff on YouTube. But he passed away as well. But before he did, he's the guy who gave this quote that I think a lot of you have heard before. And Nathan's quote was, he wanted people, his team, to think like a CEO. And his quote was, if you treat this business like a hobby, it'll pay like one. Okay, if you treat this business like a hobby, it'll pay like one. And so what that means is set goals and rank goals with business math, okay? Not emotional math, with business math. Speak with certainty and lead like you're already at the top, okay? So this leadership question this particular reflection question, let me see if I can find it, is what rank did you decide to hit before you qualified for the rank? At what point what rank did you decide to hit before you even qualified for it? You were just ready to hit it and you were going to do anything to make that happen. And how did making that decision transform how you showed up in your business on a daily basis? I'll read it again. What rank did you decide to hit before you were qualified for it? And how did making that decision transform how you showed up in your business on a daily basis? Okay. And that question is really digging to the core of what posture can a new rep adopt today? What posture can a new rep drive from that? And I want to see if this young man's on the call, Ed Spears. Let me see if I can find, there he is, the diamond maker himself, Ed Spears. Ed, can you unmute? Are you available to answer that question? I can read it again if necessary. This young man has been really helping a lot of people achieve ranks, and you can only duplicate what you are. And so I know he'd be great to answer this question. I see he's on. Can we get Ed unmuted in the chat? And I will ask that question again once we see if not, I'll pick somebody else on the call. I see he's on camera. How do we do this? Ask to unmute. I think they got you covered, Ed. I think they got you covered. Ed, can you hear me okay? All right, we trying. All right, maybe he is not available. All right, no worries. We will move on to another individual to answer this particular question. No worries there. All right, let me see. Can we get Jessica Hill unmuted? She is a diamond as well. Oh, Ed, you on? Ed, you got to hit the, yeah. Ed, like me, we are not the most technically savvy people. We come from the same place, and we were born in the era before cell phones, so we don't. Ed, you got to hit the unmute button on the Zoom. E. I cannot unmute you myself, my brother. Oh, you should be able to just talk, Ed. Can you talk? Can you hear it? Let me see. Okay, I don't think we're gonna be able to hear from Ed, but that's okay. That's all right. We'll we'll catch up on the next one. That's all right. Yeah, I don't know what happened. He said it won't let him unmute. That's okay. We got Jessica. Let's see if Jessica Hill on the call. Jessica's usually on the call. Let's see if we can get Jessica Hill. See if we can get her unmuted since Ed is having a little technical difficulties.
I'm here, Coach. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. Do you meet you another fellow at the Diamond Club? Let me see if you need me to repeat the question or you got it okay.
Hello, Coach Will. Can you hear me now?
Oh, there we go.
I'm sorry, Jessica.
There we go. No worries. We'll come back to another question for Jessica. I hear some feedback. You got two phones, Ed, or a laptop and a phone?
No, sir. I'm on the laptop.
Okay. There has to be another device somewhere around you if it's giving feedback like that. Is there another device? Are you logged in on two devices or something? Or no?
No, sir.
All right, well, we can't do it with the echo. Let me try one more. Let me see. Say something, Ed. Let me see. Oh, turn the volume down. Yeah, turn your volume. No, because then he can't hear us. Yeah, technology is a crazy thing, man. Let me see. All right, Ed, say something. Let me see if we got rid of that echo. If not, we got to try to work on that, and we'll have to come back to it. Let me say something again, Ed, please. I don't know what happened. We done lost Ed. All right, so okay, well, we got to keep the call moving. No worry, I'll come back to Ed later if needed when we get the technical difficulties worked out. No worries. Jessica,
he's on. He logged in twice, so I'll.
Yeah, it's the feedback.
I'll
yeah, he
mute
might have
one of
accidentally
them.
logged in twice. Yeah, I can't hear him at all, Coach.
Can you hear me now, Coach Will?
Oh man, you sound perfect. There you go, boss. All right,
Thank you,
gentlemen,
Coach
we got
Marcus.
the
Yeah,
man
man,
in the building.
I'm not one of those guys. But anyway.
Me either, man. That's why I was committed to keep trying. Jessica, don't worry, we'll come back to you. with another question. Please do not worry. So Ed, do you need me to repeat the question? I know it
No,
was a
sir.
minute. Well,
No, sir.
you got
I
okay.
got the
Look,
question.
give the people what they need, man. 60 seconds or so. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir, Coach Will. When I first joined the opportunity, Coach Will, there were no diamonds. There was then no rankings at the time. So I immediately said within my first week or two that I wanted to be one of the first 10 diamonds in the company. That was my goal, to be one of the first 10 diamonds in the company. We knew what we had to do. So it was able to happen in 56 days because I was excited. Didn't know what diamond was, didn't really know nothing. I just wanted to be in the forefront of something that was just about to start. It was as simple as that, man. So I just went to talking to everybody that I knew, just telling people out of pure excitement that they need to be a part of the All of the Month Club, and it's just happened. And I was actually the fifth diamond in the company. So I knew what I wanted, and I knew what I had to do to go get it. So I just went after it.
I love it, man. No, appreciate that. And what I love the most about it, ladies and gentlemen, is you see that he didn't have to give you any flowery, magical, technically savvy, complicated things. It's really just getting out there and doing the work. And when you are committed to a goal and you get out there and do the work, no lack of technical expertise is going to stop you from doing it. And Ed's story really resonates with me a lot as well, because we're very similar in that respect. We are not good at technical stuff, but we don't look at that as a weakness. We look at it as a strength because we know what we can do and we know what we can't do. So thank you so much, Ed. I appreciate you, brother. And hopefully, whoever the next diamond is that on this call, hopefully they heard that and they said, you know what? I'm gonna set a number. I want to be the 22nd or 23rd diamond or whatever number we're up to now. And they are going to make that magic happen before Nashville. And they're going to tell that story from the stage. Thank you, man. I appreciate you so much. Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, show Ed some love in the chat. Now, next up, we have a quote from, again, this is one of my favorite mentors. I keep saying that, but all of these guys I know personally, whether they've passed away or they're still with us. This gentleman is still with us. His name is Dale Calvert, one of my favorite trainers in the history of network marketing. And he was the first mentor who taught me the concept of the 70, 27, and the 3. And what is that? It is you cannot motivate the 70%. 70% of people are going to quit your network marketing business no matter what. Insurance company statistics show us that 70% of people are going to die broke no matter what. And those people are going to be the people who join anything that looks like easy money, and they are going to quit shortly thereafter as soon as it gets difficult. But that's 70% of all people. So naturally, it's 70% of your team as well. And they probably won't be here very long. After the first 70%, you have another category of people who are the 3%. The 3%ers are going to be very, very talented, very charismatic, okay? They got the gift of gab, so to speak. But those people, the 3% of people, they cannot be duplicated because they're so talented. They're like a unicorn. So they always make a lot of money up front with any company they join. But after a couple of months of having absolutely no duplication, they typically blame the company, blame the upline, blame everything except for themselves. And then they jump to another company. And because they're so charismatic and so fun and popular, they can drag a lot of people with them to their other company. And the system, the cycle will repeat itself. That's why people think that only the people, quote unquote, at the top make all the money, is because all they see is 3%ers putting out these hilariously outdated claims about what they're doing. But even if it's true, they're never mentioning that the average person cannot and will not be able to achieve those results. So we don't really want to build around those individuals. If they come, that's great. If they leave, that's okay too. The last 27% of people are the people who really are good people. They're willing to learn, they're willing to work hard, and we have to create systems and things that work for those people, okay? So that's who you want to build your team around. And Dale Calvert taught me that entire concept, and it changed the way that I look at network marketing and how I do business and who I work with and who I don't, okay? So here's the question, and this question is going to be for Coach Tina Rose Human. We'll see if she is available on the call, but here's the question. I'll read it twice. Which system or...
Hello?
Are you there? Oh, hey. All right, Coach, we got you there. Yeah, so let me read I'm going to start calling out the people first and then reading the question so we can make sure and confirm that y'all are available. Thank you so much for hopping on tonight. So here's going to be our question, Coach. What system or tracker helped you stop wasting time on the 70% of people who will never build a business and finally focus on your real builders. Okay. So basically, what tool or what system would you hand your day one self if you could go back to eliminate wasting time with people who were either going to quit anyway, or people who were so talented and had so much ego, they weren't going to be here anyway? And then you could start focusing on loving on your real team and the people who are really going to be here. And ladies and gentlemen, just so y'all know, Coach Tina has several six-figure earners in her organization, and she probably has so many people who've earned $25,000 to $50,000. We just stopped counting at some point. So, are you good with that question, Coach? You need me to read it again?
Nope, I'm good. Well, this
Okay,
is
give the people what they need.
yeah, this is kind of two parts for me. I mean, obviously, I want to know their goals, like we teach here. But if I give them an assignment to go post something on their Facebook and they don't do it, they've automatically hit that 70% club for me. Because if they're not going to, go into action, and of course I'm going to nurture them and try to get their belief system built up, and because it is scary, when you first start and you don't know what's going on, but getting their mindset right so they feel comfortable doing that, and giving them like the words to use, the follow-up thing that they have to do when somebody requests information, and all of that. But I think my biggest lesson in this industry, when it comes to working with people, is I was on a coaching call one time with another leader in the industry, and I said, what if you want it more for your people than they want it for themselves? And he looked at the camera and he said, you're being selfish. He said, they may not be ready for that, and you're wanting more for them than they want for themselves. And you can't put that pressure on them or they'll be ready to quit right away.
Wow. Got it. Roger that.
Yep. So, believe in them for as far as, what they're showing in that moment, I guess would be the biggest takeaway on that.
Yes, ma'am. Love it. All right. Y'all heard it from one of the best, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all go ahead and show Coach Tina some love in the chat, just like y'all did, Coach Ed and others. And I want to, and Tiara as well. And man, what she's talking about right there, ladies and gentlemen, is a leadership test. And you can decide whatever test you want to give your people, be it watch a video about training or coaching or products and get back to you, or make a certain post that works for sure and you give it to them, because like Coach Tina has amazing results in the social media world and things like that. And if they don't perform or they don't do it for whatever reason, you can automatically put them in that 70% club. It's a tough decision, but it does get easier, and it's going to free up a lot of time for you to work with the people who are really coachable. Thank you so much, Coach Tina. We appreciate that so much. All right, so our next question, ladies and gents, is going to be from a gentleman who I've never met. He was, I think, deceased before I was born. But this gentleman's name is Napoleon Hill. He is the author of the second highest selling personal development book of all time. And that book is called Think and Grow Rich. If you've never read it, you really should. And what he said was, the starting point of all achievement is desire. The starting point of all achievement is desire. He said that desire must become obsession, and obsession will become movement. And so in this industry, people don't fail because of lack of tools. We got plenty of tools for them. They fail because of weak reasons why. They don't have strong enough reasons to make the magic happen and put the work in their business. So this question is going to be for one of my favorite retired first sergeants in the Army, Coach Charlotte Whitaker. I think she's driving. She may not be able to talk, or she's riding. But let me see if she's available before I read the question. Coach Charlotte, are you available? Okay, perfect. We'll get this question. Thank you so much. Okay, so here's the question for you. What moment or situation turned your business from an option to a mission? What moment or situation turned your business from an option to a mission?
When I realized I was making money. When I got into business, I didn't want to do the business. I only wanted the product. And I was told by a support member that I was making money. And when I saw it, I said, oh, wow. But what really pushed me is when we started the franchise factor.
Mm,
The
mm.
information that was put out in the franchise factor is precise. Um, if you're new, it explains everything you need to do step by step. And there's 4 parts to it, and everybody should see that or listen to it or listen to the replay.
I agree 2000%. So, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it from one of the best in the business, the best in the industry. One of our newer 6-figure earners, but she is a leader of leaders. Is Coach Charlotte. We're going to be doing some meetings with her and her team next month. Can't wait. Very excited about that. But she said when she started making money. So if you ever want this business to feel real and you want to make a shift, check into the Franchise Factor. It'll teach you everything you need to know to get started off right in this business. It airs every week, Saturday at 8 p.m. Central Time, 6 p.m. California time. And if you don't want to wait to watch the parts week by week, they're all available for free at the One Team, One Dream YouTube page. And you can watch them all in one night if you want and start your business tomorrow. And those are hosted by none other than Coach Marcus Jones, multi-million-dollar earner in network marketing, who we'll be hearing from hopefully a little bit later on this call. So thank you, Coach Charlotte. We appreciate you so much. And we're looking forward to see you soon. Now, this next quote is from a gentleman, ladies and gentlemen, Jim Rome. And I've never met Jim Rome in person, but I feel like I know him because of how much of his information I've consumed over the years. And one of the great things he said was, success is something you attract by the person you become. Success is something you attract by the person you become. So always work on yourself. And what does that mean? It means that personal development and personal growth, okay, unlocks attraction. It unlocks influence. It unlocks leadership. It unlocks credibility. The number one investment you ever have to make is an investment in yourself. Okay, so our question, this is going to be for Jessica Hill. We'll get Miss Jessica Hill, another one of our diamonds on the team. She's made several $1,000s in the business. I think her husband, Terry, is also a diamond as well in the business. I know they've been working closely with her upline, been working with Ed Banks as well. And it's so coachable. It's so wonderful. Her and Terry come to every event they can possibly make to. And I can tell you personally, they're going to go really far in this business. And they are a joy to work with across the board. And so I know that Jessica's available. She mentioned earlier. So Jessica, here's your question. What personal growth lesson or book, or video, whatever, what personal growth lesson or book or video, whatever it is, what created your biggest internal shift? Okay. What book or lesson or meeting or conversation, what created your biggest internal shift? Like what really inspired the transformation that we've all seen you make over the last several months? What really did it?
Can you hear me, Coach?
Loud and clear, loud and clear.
I'm gonna say there's several. Obviously,
Sure.
a book would be Icebreakers. Learning how what words to use to say to people.
Yes, indeed.
And one of the events that I went to that really shifted things. All of the events I've been to have all been, top notch. But the one that I went to that Terry went to with me in February in Orlando is really what flipped the switch for me. Because it made me realize that I'm not alone in this. I truly have his full support. And when and I know not everybody has that. So
right.
And when you do get it, it makes it easier to achieve things and follow things through, if that makes sense.
Oh, it makes perfect sense. And yeah, it was a pleasure meeting Terry in Orlando as well. We had a blast meeting him. I felt like we knew each other already because of how much we hear about him. But yeah, no, that was great. And so, ladies and gentlemen, making it to an event is something that Jessica, another member of our Diamond Club, something that she highly recommends, obviously, and also the book Icebreakers by Tom Big Al Schreier. Personally, I think that is one of the top 1 or 2 books every new rep should read or listen to the audio book on Audible within their first week. That's my personal opinion. I'm not backing off on that one. It is an incredible book that changed my network marketing career as well. Thank you so much, Jess. We appreciate that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, do me a favor. We got a couple more. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all are enjoying hearing from your team, hearing from some of the leadership, hearing from some of our up and coming leaders. Put a 1 in the chat if you feel like you're getting some value by getting some different perspectives on this particular call. Yeah, I appreciate them tuning in so much. We'll do some more like these in the future if y'all like them. So here's the next question. This question is going to be from one of my favorite mentors in the industry. We never worked together with the company, but he did mentor me for a time, and it was really at a pivotal point in my career when I really needed to put some last pieces of the puzzle together to make the income and build the systems that we need. And I mention him often. His name is Randy Schrader. And Randy, I've told his story so many times. I'll just give you all the short version right now. Randy fought and lost a very public war, a very public fight. He lost a very public fight with drugs and alcohol and ended up being incarcerated for 3 years. And over the time that Randy was incarcerated, he couldn't build his business. But in that 3 years, he made a little over $9 million in commissions, and he wasn't able to work his business a single day in over 1,000 days. And he made a little over $9 million verified. And how did he do that? You know, I had to ask him the question to get the scoop. And he said that the business doesn't really get real until you have, and this is his words, not mine, until you have predictable monthly auto ship volume moving through your organization. Okay, he says the business does not get real until you have made predictable monthly auto ship volume moving through your organization. And he really preached that, and he was right. This changed my whole perspective on auto ship. Someone reached out on Facebook this last week saying that they wanted me to sponsor them, mentor them, and coach them. And when someone asks me to work with them, I send them a little 5-question questionnaire. And one of those questions is about getting started properly and understanding auto ship. And if they give me a funny answer that I don't like to any one of those 5 questions, I will not sponsor that person. I will allow them to buy products so they can test them out and see how it impacts their life. But I will not sponsor them as a rep, will not mentor them, will not coach them, because they're going to waste everybody's time, including their own. I don't recommend you do that early in your career. You're just trying to find some people to join you. But when you're later in your career and you understand that the time is better spent either with your family, with your friends, or your team that's willing to build the same way we do at every event, the same way we do 5-6 nights a week, you're going to understand the value of disqualification. And he really preached that residual income is only created. It's only created when predictable systems meet predictable consumption. And predictable consumption is the usage of products on a monthly basis. If the volume isn't automatic, your income isn't automatic. So it has to be built around auto ship volume. And I could go on and on about that, but I won't. But here's the question, and the question is going to be for our coach, Marcus Jones, who really helped us implement this particular culture in our organization. And this is why we have so many $1,000 earners on our team. This is why we have so many $5,000 earners on our team. This is why we have so many $25,000 and $50,000 and $10,000 earners on our team, because of that culture of if your volume isn't automatic, your income isn't automatic. Okay, so here's the question for Coach Marcus Jones, my brother from another mother. Let's see, Coach. Let me make sure. Coach, you available to talk? I know he's on, but let me make sure he's available to speak. I know it's his wife's birthday weekend.
Yeah,
okay, cool. Okay, thank you, Coach. Okay, perfect. Thank you, brother. Okay, when did you start treating your auto ship, or not yours, but when did you start treating auto ship like the heartbeat of your business? And how do you explain the importance to new reps in a way that creates buy-in instead of pressure?
Yeah, for me,
And I can read the question. Yeah,
I got it.
Cool. Okay.
I got it. For me, you know, being on auto ship, that wasn't an option from day one. Now the volume, I didn't really know about the benefit of doing 100 PCV with HPN back then because the Starbones was new, but I was on auto ship from day one. I placed my first order 3 days after I joined. I earned commissions before I bought anything, but I went on auto ship because I wanted to get the cash back. You know, they were giving 5% cash back for the first 3 months. And then I also wanted the discount. So I've always been on auto ship. And so when I talk to people who are serious and tell me they want to earn income, and I tell them the benefits of doing an auto ship with the 5% discount that's automatic, and HBN also gives you up to 30% cash back. Now, as far as the auto ship level, you know, we teach this all the time. We tell people get in where they fit in. However, if they want to maximize their income, okay, 100 BV, 100 CV with both companies is the way to go, because that allows you to qualify for all the money. I mean, if you are going to do the work anyway, why not, you know, get paid the most for doing the same work you're doing, whether you're at 25 CV or 50 CV or 100 CV or more, right? You're doing the work. Why not maximize your income and help you achieve your financial goals faster? You know, because you'll qualify for the SAT bonuses, the STAR bonuses, the highest binary commissions, things like that. So that's how I explain the benefits of the of auto ship being at the appropriate level, also on the appropriate day of the month, which is the first day of the month. Okay, and so that, and for people who are serious, they pass the leadership test with the 20 reasons why, they typically will follow those simple instructions and do 100 CV and teach that to people they enroll.
Yeah, no, love that. I appreciate it. So, ladies and gentlemen, as you hear Coach Marcus, and remember, this is a gentleman who's earned at this point over $5 million in his career in network marketing, and he's about to hit the $1 million mark probably at some point this year with HBN as well, becoming a 7-figure earner with multiple companies, which is just amazing. You don't really see that a lot in this industry these days. I want you to ask this question to yourself as you think about what he said, and how from day one, and it's never too late, but from day one, this is what a multi-million-dollar earner who came here as a multi-million-dollar earner knows to do to maximize the comp plan, even before he learned the entire comp plan. Here's the question for everybody on the call. If every rep you sponsored duplicated your action about auto ship, how big would your check be right now? If every customer, not every customer, because customers are going to buy what they want, but if every rep who said they want to build a business was at the same level and date of auto ship as you, how big will your check be right now? Would it be the same as it would be? Would it be bigger? Would it be smaller? But it would never be smaller, unless, of course, they're duplicating your actions, and your actions are not, you know, the actions of a top earner. So just keep that question in your pocket. If every rep duplicated your actions on auto ship on a monthly basis, how big or small would your check be right now? And so thank you so much, Coach Marcus. You also, Coach, some love in the chat, and we are going to keep it moving. We're almost done. Let's do 2 more questions, 3 more questions tops. But this comes from, again, an incredible network marketing leader that really helped put Herbalife on the map back in the day. I'm not sure how many people remember Herbalife. Used to really be rocking. And the gentleman's name was Larry Thompson. I've never met Larry personally, but I have seen some information on him over the years of some people that he worked with years before I ever joined the industry. And a quote that Larry Thompson gave was, "Big money follows simple systems and big belief." Big money follows simple systems and big belief, not big beliefs and simple and not big systems and simple belief. No, big belief and simple systems. And you know, I've been on a real McDonald's rant lately. McDonald's did not scale with quality of burger or talent. McDonald's became a $1 trillion brand by duplicating literally a mindless rhythm. It's a $1 trillion brand. And if ever you go into a McDonald's, it's probably teenagers working there. No other company in the world has a system so solid that high school teenagers can run it regardless of their GPA. And it is a $1 trillion brand. That is how important having a simple system is. So this question is going to be for Coach Seymour Greenridge Blake. Let me see if Coach Seymour is on the call. Let me see if Coach is on. He's usually on the call, right out of Saginaw, Texas. All right,
am.
Coach. One of our favorite new six-figure earners in the business smashed over $100,000 in commissions. Thank you for hopping on the call, Coach. And here is your question. What is the most basic action that you did daily that brought you consistent compounding success? And how can we make it impossible for new team members to miss it? And I can read the question again if you need to.
I got it.
Awesome.
First thing was prayer, putting God first. One of the things that I say all the time is that we have faith, we have belief, and we have trust in a God that we don't see. But a lot of us don't have that same faith, trust, or belief in ourselves. So I had to
Ooh.
put God first. Then I had to put that same trust that I have in him that he's going to make it work for me, the same faith that he's going to make it work, and the same belief that I am going to make it work for me and my family. Once I put that in front of me, there was nobody or nothing that will stop me from going and reaching and achieving my goals that I wanted to achieve. And if you do that and just keep him, I was brought up in the church with my as a kid, so I was always taught that you always put God first. Always put him in front of everything before you even, once you plan it, you put him in front of it, and then you pray on it, and then you act on it. So with that, that's how I try to get my people to do the same. I try to have them have faith and belief in themselves. If you're telling me that you don't believe you can do something, I don't have time to work with you, because again, I say this all the time, like Shay say, you wear a watch to tell time. I wear a watch to let you know how valuable my time is. So if you can't believe in yourself, how can anybody else do?
Love it, man. Thank you so much, Coach. And man, y'all show Coach Seymour, Coach Marcus, show all our coaches some love in the chat. We got time for about one or two more questions before we wrap up. And I appreciate you so much for taking some time for us, Coach. And that's a fact, man. I love that answer so much. And I know that you literally live every word that you say, man. So thank you for that, brother. We appreciate you. And we'll see you in Dallas, Texas with your organization and Miriam Kareem's organization, the hostess with the mostest. Miriam, we are calling on you for this next question. So just giving you a heads up. I know she's always busy, but see if she can get unmuted for us. And I'm going to tell you this next question, I thought about it, came from, again, just someone who I respect so much in this industry. He was actually the top earner at a company that was called NSA. I think they changed their name to Juice Plus back when I was a kid. And my mom was in this company, and she always had us taking these little red and green vitamins. And she wasn't a network marketer. She loved the product. Somebody at her work got her using it. So we used to hear about this guy named Jeff Roberti who was making $300,000 a month. And as a kid, I didn't understand money or anything like that. I just knew my mom told me to take these vitamins, and she was an incredible athlete, and we became incredible athletes. So we believed in health and wellness very early. And one thing Jeff Roberti said, he was big on consistency, and he was with his company since the 80s till today. Okay, when other leaders were leaving that company, Juice Plus, he never left, and he's probably made close to $100 million in his career, and that's a whole lot of cash. Now here's his quote that he said. He said, network marketing, or he called it MLM back then, MLM is about doing the basics every day with passion and purpose. Then he said this is crucial. Repetition is reputation. That's a bar, write that down. Repetition is reputation. And every day you skip building your business subtracts belief. Every day that you skip building your business takes away or subtracts belief, like a mathematics equation, okay? Never forget that. So here's the question from Miriam. Miriam, let me know if you were able to unmute. And here's your question. And we got one more after this, and we'll wrap the call, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. Thank you so much. I appreciate
Okay.
you so much. I know we got you on double duty tonight. We got you hosting, doing the newbie corner. Now we coming back with these crazy questions. And just so y'all know, none of our leaders tonight know what questions they were or even if they were going to be called on. So y'all make sure y'all show them some love. This is public speaking, impromptu speech at its best. And they were not always really excited about that, but they're really good at it now. So here's your question, ma'am. When did you finally decide to become ultra consistent? And how did things change in your business after that?
I think, well, first I wanted the result, whether it be with, my health, and then whether, it was my business. I have to, there's things that I want and the things that I must do, must have. I've talked to you, about some of those things, but I'm not going to get them if I'm not consistent. So I have to be consistent in doing those things to get the results that I need to get. It's changing. I guess it's as fast as my pace is allowing it to, and I need to step up the pace, obviously. But it's a good change. It's people listening now. I know people are watching me, but people are always going to watch you regardless. But it's changing for the better. I've been able to make more money. I have people that were saying, I don't know. Now they're saying, okay, let me take another look. So it's changing. It's a good change. It's shifting. And like I said, I need to pick up the pace so I can get some quicker shifting.
No,
But yeah.
I love that. No, thank you so much. And ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if y'all caught this part. This is something she said that was so amazing. And I'm glad she said it because it wasn't in the question, but this is how you know that she is embracing the role as a top tier network marketer, especially over the last 6 to 12 months. She's grown so much, not just in making extra thousands and thousands of dollars. That's all well and good, but just her growth as a leader. She has become someone that people love to learn from. They love to buy from. They love to join, and they love to learn from her on a weekly basis. And one of the things she said was she had to become consistent in the products and the business. And for those of y'all who don't know, Miriam, if you can just tell us a little bit about your weight loss testimony. I don't want to put all of it out there because I don't tell your story as good as you do, but a lot of people don't know that because they only know, you as of late. We've had so many people join us, so they didn't know you 4 or 5, years ago, whenever it was. So if you could just tell them what happened when you got consistent with the products, the same we talked about consistent with the business, I think some people that can really resonate with some people on this call, if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure. It was if you see my pictures from way back when, I was up there. I was 328 pounds. I was up there, and I'm 5'4". I'm not tall. So that doesn't spread out like like you would want it to. It's just compacted in one little area and it doesn't look nice. But yeah, so when I decided, I decided to try the products because this was like either this or gastric bypass. I'm serious. That was my choice that I thought I had. I tried the products. The Slimmer kit, the Slimmer Love Box. It was like the least expensive kit. And the first day my cravings were gone. The first week I lost 9 pounds. 9.
Wow.
My first
Wow.
week. I had never lost that much weight, released that much weight on anything. The second week, 14 pounds. The third week, well, the first month was 23 pounds. 3 months, 60 pounds. It just kept coming off, and I kept documenting my journey to show people, and it was mainly to keep myself accountable, because if I didn't show up, somebody was going to say, oh, I knew she was going to quit. I'm sorry, that's why I documented it, but it was to keep myself consistent. I had to see it every day. The same thing with my steps now. My little 10,000, I'm increasing that too, but I have to stay consistent because number one is for me. I decided it for me, for myself. I have, y'all don't know. I used to have to ride around in the grocery store on the little cart. Y'all know the cart. The cart where people are on the cart because they're too big to walk around the store, that cart. I used to have to ride around in the cart in the grocery store. I had a foot injury and I used that as a crutch. I hurt my foot. No, I still have a limp. I still have that foot injury, but I can walk around quick, fast, and in a hurry now. Before I couldn't. All because of these amazing, amazing products. There is nothing in the world that you could convince me to stop taking these products. Not one thing.
Wow. Whew.
So
I get
I
goosebumps
can
every
go
time I hear
on,
it.
but I'm not.
Oh, I know.
Because I
I
know we got
love
a
it.
long
Hey,
call.
yeah, no worry. We about to wrap it up right after we got one more question and we're done. But I could not let that opportunity pass without allowing people to hear just a testimonial. The money testimonials are always great. Who doesn't want to make an extra couple $1,000s? That's fantastic. That'll pay a mortgage. That'll pay off a car. And that only comes by being consistent with the business. But I'm gonna tell you, losing or releasing that amount of weight and just being happy and content and making all the progress that you want to make, I think that'll inspire way more people than any dollar amount ever would. So I just want to thank you so much for being open and sharing that consistency story with us about the business and about the products. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And y'all show Miriam some love in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. She'll be Coach Miriam before you know it, but she is definitely creating value for everybody. So here's the last question. I'm actually take this one to make sure that we out of here right on time. And this is from my personal favorite mentor I've ever had in the industry with close personal friends at this point. And y'all know him. If y'all were in Vegas a couple of events back or in Dallas or Denver, you've met Tom Big Al Schreider. You've met his son, Keith Schreider, best-selling authors and network marketing icons at this point. And one of his quotes was, if people understand you, they'll follow you. If you sound too smart, they'll run. If people understand you, they'll follow you. If you sound too smart, they will run. And what that means is that stories, analogies, and simple questions, they eliminate pressure and build trust. Okay, so the question is, what is the simplest phrase that got you the most yeses? And how can you teach it to people within a week? Okay, what is the simplest phrase that got you the most yeses? And how can we teach it to people this week? Okay, because words in this business, the right words duplicate really, really quickly. So for me to answer this last question, I'm gonna tell you that the words aren't always the magic. The intent behind the words is the magic. Okay, so sometimes I'll give a certain program script or set of words and it'll work great for 10 people and will hardly work for 10 people. The difference is going to be the intent behind the words. Okay, that's the intent behind the words. You have to have done enough personal growth and development and had enough belief in yourself that you're going to see this thing through to the end, even if you're not there yet, but you're definitely going to do it. And you're doing everything you can to become great. When you have that level of commitment, people are going to feel the intent or the intention to help them behind everything that you say. When someone joins me, I know the only way they lose is if they quit or if they don't follow my instructions. I just know it. That's the only way they'll ever lose. There's never been a person that people will try to overcomplicate it and they'll either lose or they'll go really, really, really slow and they can still win, but they have no idea how much longer it's going to take them. Other people, they will not be coachable and teachable. That is perfectly fine. I wish them the best, but I will not let anybody fail. That's just where I'm at in my career. And that's my level of commitment to anybody who's going to join me and trust our organization, our leadership team to get them to the top. So what I'm going to do is give you a set of words, and you'll be able to catch these on recording. I'll go through them twice. They're very, very powerful. And this is the only closing lines that I've used probably for the last 7-8 years. I've taught classes on all the different closing, 20, 30, 40 different closes. I always use the same one. It works every single time. It's no pressure, and I love it. And it's designed to be shared after you either do a video, you send a video, and after they see it, or after you do a presentation, but it doesn't matter. I always use the same close every single time. And we'll do, if you want to learn how to get people to beg you for a video, to say, please, if you ever want to learn how to get people to say, please send me a video about this business, you have got to read Tom Big Al Schreider's book, Icebreakers. It's like $12 on Amazon. It's free on Audible, and listen to that book 60 times. Will, did you just say listen to a book 60 times? It's an audio book. It's like maybe 2 hours long. And yes, I recommend you listen to the audio book 60 times, 60, and it will change everything about your circumstances in this business. I've said that for years, and I 100% believe it happened to me, and it happened to so many other people. Now, after they watch a video, you already know the book will teach you how to get them to watch a video. But after they've seen a video, this is what I ask. Or after they've seen a presentation, I'm going to talk to my prospect, and I'm going to ask them, question number one, what did you like best about what you saw? What did you like best about what you saw? Now, when I ask that, they are going to typically say either the money or the business opportunity or the products or the weight loss story. They're going to say they like something, but it comes down to these two categories, money or products. That's it. It always comes down on those two categories. I've never had them talk about something that wasn't that in the video, not even once. So when they say that, oh, I like the products, I think that sounded amazing. Let's say I sent them a recording of this call. I clipped Miriam's section and they said, oh my gosh, the video sounded amazing. I really enjoyed hearing about that young lady's weight loss testimony. Then I go to question number two. What would you like to know first about that? What would you like to know first about that? Okay, so I send the video, they watch it. They can respond by telling them, watch this video, let me know when you're done. Or if they're at a meeting with me and I do a presentation, I ask them as soon as I'm done, what did you like best about what you saw? Then they tell me. And then the second question is, what would you like to know first about that? And they may say, oh, well, what products was she using? And then I can answer that question. They might say, how long did it take her to lose all that weight? Or I'd answer the question or get them the answer, but I will get them the answer to the question. And then I'm going to ask them another question. I'm going to answer that question. Okay. And then I move on to question number three that I asked them. What would you like to know next? What would you like to know next? And then they're going to ask me another question. Where is she based out of? How much money did she make? They're going to ask another question. Why? Because people love to give you their opinion. And so question number three was, what would you like to know next? And put a star by that, because I'm just going to ask that question, answer that question. Then I'm going to ask that question again. Then I'm going to answer that question. I'm going to ask that question again. I'm going to answer that question. And after anywhere from 3 to 4, at the most 6 questions, I've never in over Lord knows how many years or thousands of presentations doing this, I've never had anybody ask more than 6 questions. Never has anybody ever asked more than 6 questions. And after they say, well, you know what? I asked them that again. What would you like to know next? That's why we put an asterisk by that. And when I ask that question the 3rd or 4th, maybe the 5th time, they say, oh, I don't have any other questions. So I move on to question number 4. When they say I don't have any other questions, I say, great. Do you understand how the money works? Question number 4, do you understand how the money works? Usually they say yes, because they've already seen videos at that point or seen a presentation, but sometimes they say no. And if they say no, I say, no problem. Would it be okay for me to send you a short video about that? They always say yes, because they want to understand how the money works. And the video I'm going to send them is always one of our industry validation videos, either Brilliant Compensation, the band class, or Perfect Business with Robert Kiyosaki. It is typically one of those 3 businesses every single time I send them one of those videos, okay? Because I want them to understand network marketing, and whether they join or not, they won't think it's a scam or a scheme, because they've been educated. And most network marketers are not even educated about how this business works. So I asked them, do they understand how the money works now? And after the video, they say yes. And then we're almost done. The penultimate question, question number 5. I say, do you see an opportunity for yourself? When you see all this information, do you see an opportunity for yourself? 80, 90% of the time, it's a yes. I would even say 90 or above, it is a yes. Do you see an opportunity for yourself? They say yes. And then my last question, question number 6, Great. When would you like to get started? And they tell me when they want to get started. They say, well, look, I get paid Friday. Let's square up and get set up then. Or I get started right now. I put the ball in their court. Great. When would you like to get started? And that's it. It's no pitch. It's no pressure. It's just an invitation. It respects the person. It invites discovery. It has a ton of curiosity. But most importantly, it keeps you in posture. Okay? So how do we teach that? We model it. We role play it. We listen to how it lands when we say it over and over and over again, because duplication doesn't happen when people understand you. It happens when they believe they can do what you just did. I'm going to say that again. Somebody needs to hear that. Duplication doesn't happen when people understand you and all these fancy words you're saying. Duplication happens when people believe that they can do what you just did. How many people think they can, 1, read a book, icebreakers, 2, send a video, you got plenty, and 3, ask those 6 questions, even if it's via chat, messenger, text, in person, over the phone, FaceTime? How many people think they could do those and ask those 6 questions? Because if you can, I'm gonna tell you, you are gonna close a lot of people, okay? Because wealth and network marketing is never accidental. It is built by design, intention, system, belief, and it's passed down like a very special blueprint, okay? So I'll leave you with this. Out of all the quotes you heard tonight, out of all the leaders that you heard on the call, when you watch this recording, which piece of information will you embody this week? And what action will you take this week that your team and your future team will thank you for? And you don't have to answer that in the chat, but you can go through your notes or watch the replay. But I want you to implement, because training works better when you do what you learn. So you'll be able to implement just one thing this week. Implement something you learned, or embody one of the leadership characteristics that our leaders or the virtual mentors that we talked about shared with you. And I think you'll be fantastic. Cannot wait to see everybody in Texas next week, and in Florida, and in North Carolina, and in Georgia, and all of states will be next month. I can't wait to see everybody, and we can do these meetings and have an incredible 90-day run this summer. So thank you, Coach Marcus, for hosting this Zoom. Thank you, Miriam, as well, for hosting and sharing with everybody. And thank you, Coach Seymour, Coach Charlotte, Miriam, Jessica, Ed, who I don't want to miss anybody. Who am I missing? Tiara, she was way at the beginning. Yeah, I don't want to miss anybody, but thank y'all so much for sharing. Coach Marcus as well. Thank you so much for sharing y'all heart with everybody on this call. And I know Coach Charlotte was driving as well. So thank y'all so much. And we will see y'all tomorrow night. Coach Marcus's call is at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, 5 o'clock Pacific, 8 o'clock Eastern. Do not miss it. It is one of the most powerful calls of the week by far. All right. So good night. God bless. And we will see y'all on the next one. Thank you so much.